Yeah, I'm just finishing this off. Like I said, man, the ride and shit, you know what I'm saying? I gotta drink a whole gallon of water and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the bus. I gotta use the bathroom crazy. Feel like I gotta piss on myself, you know what I'm saying? I gotta use the bathroom all crazy and shit like that because the ride is long. I done drunk a whole gallon of water. Yo, that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Gotta pee, can't get off the bus because then I gotta get to parole on time. So I don't want to get off the bus, then gotta sit there and wait for another bus just to use the bathroom. Yo, I felt like, yo, that was crazy drinking all that water like that. Finally just to get only to get the parole and you get there and there's mad people up in there and shit, you know what I'm saying, waiting on parole officers and all that shit, parole taking their time and doing all of this and that. Yo, you gotta go to the bathroom all crazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to beat the parole, the piss test. So, I want to piss out all of the water and shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy, man. Yeah, I started that right there for myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem I started for myself with that because, like back then, parole, like you wasn't able, weed was not legal, so you couldn't smoke that shit on parole. You go get violated. And I kept smoking. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get away with shit. In the beginning, I was getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? My peoples had this tea they used to give me. You drink the tea and you get away with it. You know, one day I was, I'm about to have my son and shit. I'm chilling in the house with one of my peoples and shit. I'm smoking all crazy. I had just got finished seeing my parole, you know what I'm saying? Now by this time I got like 2 years in, you know what I'm saying? 3 years in. Yo, man, we smoking all crazy. I'm about to have my son and shit like that. Romello, smoking all crazy, yo. I had just went to my PO one day, you know what I'm saying? And she took, she took my urine, told me my shit was dirty. So I'm thinking she was gonna send me to a program, you know what I mean? Cause she didn't lock me up. She was like, yo, you know what, your urine, I'm not gonna lock you up, but you're gonna have to do something about this, urine. So boom, I'm like, I bet I'm gonna stop smoking, whatever. I left. Now before I went to that parole date, that to go see that visit, see my PO, the day before that I had took some extra clean, the shit that makes supposed to make your shit clean. It's called extra clean. You get it from the GMC store. Yo, I took that and I thought that shit was gonna clean my urine. Yo, my shit was dirty. That's what she was like. Yo, your urine is dirty. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna stop. She ain't locked me up. I went home that night, smoking crazy, smoking crazy, crazy. I'm smoking crazy. Um, the next night, that same night when I'm home smoking, thinking that she ain't violate me, so I'm thinking I'm good. Yo, don't you know, like around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, me and my people's in the crib burning it down, mad weed smelling like crazy weed. Um, PO niggas knock, I get a knock on my door. It's the fucking parole, the team. They come out there and check on, the people that come check the niggas for parole and all that. Um, them niggas, they came to my house, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, smelling like mad weed in the house. I had to open the door. Niggas came in. I'm trying to explain to them niggas like, yo, I just came from my PO. She took my urine already. She know my shit is dirty. They like, yo, they wasn't even trying to hear all that. They just told me to go in the bathroom and pee. So I did. Yo, don't you know that shit, that extra clean shit that I took kicked in? That shit kicked in, yo. Them niggas was like, yo, your shit is clean. I was like, oh shit, they left. They ain't locked me up or nothing. My PO just told me my shit was dirty Wednesday. They came Thursday night. My shit was clean, son. I was surprised. I thought my shit was dirty because I even told them that. They didn't care. They just wanted to see him. They cared about what the test say. So that night I dodged that shit, man. I beat that shit or whatever. They know I was good. Um, and I guess my PO knew they was coming out to get me, but she was wanted them to get me that way. I guess figured, but my shit was clean, so they couldn't take me to jail. So I guess she was like, wow, whatever. I moved on from that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm on parole for like 4 years now, 4 years and a half. I'm almost about to get off and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I went through mad shit with that parole shit, especially with smoking that weed shit. That shit ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? I went through mad shit with that shit. 5 years of that shit, man. 4 years actually, because I was clean for like a whole year and a half when I first came home. So the rest of that shit, I was on problems. You know what I'm saying? I wound up smoking more, wound up catching my PO wound up violating me again. You see what I'm saying? This time, that shit was crazy. I caught a 60-day violation. I did high impact. That's what the shit was called. I was trying to tell y'all about that shit and being neutral and shit like that. Go check that video out. But the place was called High Impact. It's like a little step down from Shock and shit like that. But it was on the island. I ain't have to go far. You know what I'm saying? I went to the Springs. That's where they was holding it at for that time. Um, I did the 60 days of that shit and I came home. You know what I'm saying? Finished off that parole, man. You know what I'm saying? I finished off parole in 2005, yo. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That was no more for me. I finished that shit. I was good, man. But, you know, I learned my lesson and did my experience on that 5 years parole shit. I went from probation to parole. So, you know what I'm saying? Yo, do what you got to do. Get off parole. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're on probation, finish that shit and get that shit behind you. You heard? Big facts, yo. Have nobody have you on paper holding you and controlling you like that. Y'all got it easy because the weed is legal now. So y'all ain't got to worry about that on parole and probation. Y'all can smoke. You know what I'm saying? So just finished parole and all that. I finished my shit 2005. You heard? I've been done with that parole shit. And you know, that's it, man. You know what I mean? Um, so you already know. It's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip or none of that shit. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You already know. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins and my brother K-Son. You heard? Y'all already know. Shout out to the whole Bronx. NYC stand up. Shout out to Connecticut. BX Juice. You heard? Bow.